We're the indie project Bee and Theo, and we've been living and travelling the world in vans for the past 6 years. We're currently renovating an abandoned stone barn in Portugal to turn into a beautiful tiny home for us and our cats Ginjey Bear and Furrnando. Follow our journey from the very beginning as we document the whole process of creating an off-grid home.
Good morning guys, welcome back to a brand new video here in Central Portugal. Today it was meant to be raining so hard that we were worried we wouldn't be able to get much done. We were ready, waiting with our jacket, our rain clothes, but the rain hasn't come, and that happens a lot in Portugal, especially around this area. You can read the weather forecast and actually the bad weather doesn't come, and that's quite nice, but it's quite hard because you can't trust the weather forecast. So you just have to wake up and see what the day holds. So I think this morning this is actually such a nice area to burn, and the conditions are just perfect. There's no wind, it's actually a nice day but not too warm. There's lots of dew on the floor, so the grass is wet, so that means if there was to be an accident where the fire burns away out of control, it means that the rest of the grass that it would ignite to is already wet. They always say burn your fires in the morning for that very reason. And we've actually lost the matches that we used last time. I don't know where I put them, so I've got the good old flint out. I'm gonna go old school and get this fire started the best I can. So with fire building, fire making like this, preparation is key. You might have seen me do this on Win the Wilderness. If you've not seen our show, well, the show we were part of in Alaska, we were on a Netflix documentary / reality show, and we had to do all things like this. And I've been doing this for many years, living off grid, traveling around in vans, always wanting to stay warm. We didn't have heating in our van for a long time, so we'd rely on campfires outside of the van for many years. And I've just gone around the property and I've just got everything prepared because preparation is really key. And I've found the driest pine needles that I can. Pine needles burn really nicely. The problem is it rained so heavily yesterday that everything's a bit damp, but I found some pine needles that weren't actually on the floor, and their fall had been broken by a bush, so they were sat off the ground. So these are the driest pine needles we're gonna have on the land. So I'm gonna just get this going.
No pressure.
I'm cheating a bit.
The bog roll.
Cheating a bit, but you know, I'm not gonna make my life hard. And I'm just gonna build this up nicely. And then I've got all the broom over there and we can drag it over into this location. The fire is going nicely, and that was light work actually to get it going. I've still got my fire making skills because back in the day we used to live very basic in our first van, traveling all around Europe, and we spend a lot of time in Scandinavia, like I say, where it's quite cold at night. We didn't have a heater, so we used to make these fires every single night, and that's where I learnt my fire making skills. And I don't want to boast, but I'm pretty good at it. And this fire's going nicely now, so all we've got to do is just keep this going, keep feeding it. And what we're burning today is French and Spanish broom. can see now behind me, this was literally just covered in broom and now it's all burnt down completely. And a lot of you guys are probably thinking, why did you move that pile and not just burn it there? Well, one, it was between lots of different trees and it's quite dangerous just to set fire to a massive pile of broom. It would have been horrendously tall and very warm and could have got out of hand. So it's best to move it and pile up the fire one by one. And then also we would find little nests when we're burning stuff. So to save like killing any little creatures and dragging them into the fire, we make sure that there's no nests, there's no animals in there, and everyone comes out alive. So the next thing I'm gonna do now that we've burned all of that broom down the lower section of our property is I'm just gonna go around on my tractor and find any other piles that we've made over the course of the last 6 months waiting for this time to be burnt, because I think there's probably 3 or 4 piles hanging around on the lower section of our land, so I'm going to go and find them now.
Still stuck in this house with a mind full of doubts. Tired of staring out the window. Eating too much, drinking too much. Tired of watching the grass grow. Channel 2, Channel 3, back to Channel 2. I watched everything in my queue. So put me on a train, I don't care where it's going. Fly me on a plane, maybe out to Wyoming. Need an RV, no plans, just you and me. I need to go somewhere. Still watching the rain, kids driving me insane. Another Groundhog Day routine. Stuck in my head, existential dread. What in the world does it mean? Month 2, month 4, can't take it anymore. I got to get my feet out the door. So put me on a train, I don't care where it's going. Fly me on a plane, maybe out to Wyoming. Need an RV, no plans, just you and me. I need to go somewhere. I need to go somewhere.
I'd like to say a massive thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. If you don't know what Skillshare is, it's a brilliant online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes to suit anyone. I've actually been using Skillshare myself for a number of years now and really enjoy being able to expand my creativity. I absolutely love trying out different classes and recently started a new one by Jonathan Van Ness, The Ultimate Self-Care Playbook, Discover and Nurture Your Centered Self. It's been a lot of fun to do and I really enjoy it. You can also access Skillshare from your phone, tablet and laptop, which is really handy. I regularly download classes so I have access to them wherever I am. This has been super helpful when we've been travelling. And right now, Skillshare has got a fantastic offer for our first 1,000 subscribers. If you click the link in our description or use the code TheIndieProjects, you can get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare Premium. I really hope that you enjoy using Skillshare as much as I do.
So the first fire of the day was a success, and you can see here, look how much that's burnt down. It blows my mind that we could put that much broom and wood on a pile and it just turns to that much dust. Absolutely amazing, and that'll be really good for the garden.
Well, the fires are now all complete, which is great because it means that we can rest assured that our land is going to be safe during this season. There is still things that we need to do. The grass does need cutting. In certain areas it's getting a little bit too long, so Theo's going to have to get the tractor all set up and ready for that. We've also got the goats chomping away at bits of it as well. We're still waiting for that electric fence to come through, but that'll be a really good asset when it does. And Furrnando, as usual, you've been helping, haven't you? You're such a helpful cat. Who would have thought that this little farm cat could do so much?
So I have now added the mower onto the back of the tractor. Such a good asset, this tractor. When we bought it, I thought it would be useful, but I also saw it as like, I've always wanted a tractor and it would be cool to have a tractor, and now I use it every single day. The mower's on the back, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to test the PTO speed. So basically you have two different gearboxes on this tractor. You got the normal gearbox that you use to actually drive the tractor, but then you have the PTO gearbox which powers the devices on the back of the tractor. So with the mower, it's a chain that spins around really quickly and that cuts the grass. It's great because it means that I can even drive through brush, broom, anything, and it will just literally turn it to mulch. So it's really good, especially on the wild areas on our farm. So what I'm going to do is test out the different speeds, because if it swings around faster, sometimes you can get a nicer cut. I want to dial it all in, so when it comes to doing the grass cutting, I've got it all specced up and ready to go.
So just as I was filming then, this shot out from underneath the tractor, and it also went over this stone. Now an ordinary lawnmower would probably be completely knackered if it went over that, but because it's a chain, it means that it's okay to go over these things. It doesn't affect it. Obviously it's not ideal, but it's actually designed to be able to go over this type of rough landscape.
Brilliant. I've got it all dialed in really nice. It's actually amazing how you cut certain areas of the grass and suddenly it feels like a landscaped garden.
Yeah, it does.
Like it's changed from just being like wildflowers everywhere to having a nice area where we can walk through without getting covered in ticks and an area of just kind of wildflowers that looks like almost like a flower bed. It's really nice, but this is all ready to go. I'm low on fuel, so I need to pick up some diesel next time we're in the city, which I think we're going later today, so that'll be really good timing.
It's turning out to be one of those couple of days where we're getting loads of jobs done on our property that need doing anyway. It's the time of year where the tractor comes out, begins cutting the grass. I can't begin to describe how lovely it smells right now, the fresh cut grass. Oh, it's delicious, especially with the flowers. I probably should also take a hay fever tablet because I can feel my eyes already starting to water. We got the fires done yesterday, and actually because of that we ended up using more water than we planned to put them out, because there was supposed to be a big storm that we were relying on to really wash it out and make the ashes be totally dead. So we ended up having to just use more of my water from my garden. So that's something that we need to do next, is top up the IBC that I use for my garden. Otherwise all my plants are going to shrivel up and die, because we are officially now in the nice season. Each day is getting over 20 degrees Celsius. Rain is going to become scarcer, so let's get this water done.
So I've just got our nice little Honda water pump. Can't call it a shed. It's more like a sauna. It's so warm in there, and that's something we're hopefully going to sort out fairly soon. As soon as the house is a little bit more finished, we're going to move on to a lovely big carport. I know I mentioned that before. That's going to house all of our solar panels. I'm very excited to build that, but right now I'm going to walk down. It's a nice day. Usually I'd stick this in the back of the UTV or the tractor, but I think we'll go for a nice stroll.
Let's get those steps in.
To the bottom of the land where our main well, Manuel, will feed us full of water. It's actually so nice on a day like today, just walking along.
So this is the tank at the moment. There's about 300 litres in there, you can see the marker, and we fill it up to 900. It's open because this was originally our plunge pool for our first summer, which worked amazingly at cooling us down. And Theo's just wound the pipe in so that when we turn the generator on down at the well, it doesn't fly out and it'll fill up nice and fast. It actually does it very, very fast. I think it's at least 100 litres a minute from that pump, so this should be done in way less than 10 minutes. Theo's just leaning down into the well to fill up some water so we can prime it before it gets going. And I think because we've had quite a dry winter, the well's not as high as it usually is, so he's had to get full body down to get a nice bottle's worth, which is more than enough, I think.
Covered in ants.
He's covered in ants. Oh no, they're everywhere at the moment. And are they biting ones? At least they're not biting ones. So yeah, this is just a primer, so it works really nicely straight away.
So you can see here that we've actually dug the pipe into the ground. This is brilliant because when I'm cutting the grass with the tractor or just driving along around the property, it means that I don't disturb the pipe, I don't destroy the pipe. Imagine if that got around the chain, it would just end in disaster. So it's always good to dig them underground, and we're going to be continuing this up past the house, and this will feed our tanks that will then be fed to the house, which is exciting.
We've just walked up to see how fast the water's filling up, and it's already halfway to where it needs to be full, which is great. I do love this little pump. It was such a good investment. It means we don't have to carry a water pump and a generator down. It's just all in one. It's absolutely fantastic and we highly recommend it.
It's going up really fast. It won't take long at all. Like Bee said, it's like 100 litres a minute. So we've only just got up here and it's already over half full, so good times.
Happy days. Do you want to run down or shall I?
I'll go down. Fine. Still got a little bit to go.
Remember, 100 litres a minute and it's at 800 litres.
I'll do my best Usain Bolt impression.
Go on.
Just leg it to the well.
You got to, you need to go now. You're leaving it too soon, it's killing me.
Move this up. You hold this up so it doesn't reverse, suck the water out. Over here. You're going to get covered. So this pump will be stored away now until we need to use it again. So what you want to do is undo this little bit at the bottom and all the water should pour out that's kept in the actual device. You can see there, you just make sure it all comes out, because this is just going to make your like engine and everything just last longer. You don't want to keep it in there with stored water, but that's ready to be stored away. And also, because this kind of whole video has basically been about fire prevention and keeping the land tidy for the summer, because as we always mention, it can get 40 degrees here in the summer, which is absolutely ridiculously hot. This part of the reason why we bought it is because I can just pick it up, run anywhere on the property, plug it into one of the pipes and just use it as like a hose. Really strong hose. Like Bee said, it's actually 120 litres a minute. So that means if a fire does break out or we have some sort of problem on the property, I can get this up and running in a matter of minutes. That's why I always leave a little bit of fuel stored in it. It's not ideal to leave fuel stored in there for too long, but probably it's only used every couple of weeks, so that's fine. If you're storing it away for months on end, then you want to get rid of the fuel as well. But this device is so useful. I definitely recommend getting something like this if you live on an off-grid property where there's fire risk.
Theo's just got a bunch of these beautiful crates out of the tent that we bought, I think it was about a year ago now, because we want to use these as our clothes storage in our bedroom on the mezzanine. So they need a bit of a clear out. They've had some spiders living in there, so they've got cobwebs in them and stuff. So before they go in the actual barn, I'm going to give them a hoover on the old veranda, and Fernando's going to help because he is our special farmhand.
What are you doing? This is going to end in disaster, you know that.
Time to get the crates on the mezzanine. And one thing I want to say is, you see the sladder behind me? Well, we've been using that every single day and night for weeks now, and it's very comfortable. I just wanted to make that announcement, because I know on video it can look a bit steeper than it actually is. It can look a bit more uncomfortable than it actually is. It's actually perfect. Like, I couldn't have built that any better. So super stoked with it. I'm going to go up, take these crates, and we're going to see how they look in position.
So I need to bring 4 in. Right, Fernando, can you pass me 2 paws?
5 more, please.
5? Oh.
1 for a bedside table.
Oh.
So hang on, how many did you just take up? 2?
Three.
3. Oh my gosh.
They look good already. Thank you very much. Crate city up here. I'm surrounded by crates.
Looks nice though.
Looks really nice. So the idea is, I think 4 crates is enough, and then 4 on top of them. You want them to pull out, don't you? So I'm gonna have to create some sort of like cupboard system, open cupboard system, where you can kind of just pull the crates out and we'll have our clothes.
Yeah, exactly. How about on this the other way, with the other leg way?
So this way. You probably only get 2.
No, you should get 3. 3? What do you think looks better?
It will all depend on the wood we can buy.
Yeah, true.
So if the wood that we can buy is like a nice depth to do them long ways, then we can do that. If it's not, so what we need to do is take all the measurements.
Right, yeah.
But let's see how that looks. So there, is that enough of area for you to have a
washing basket?
Yeah, you want
I
a
think
washing
so.
basket there, don't we?
I
The
think
reason
so.
we don't want the crates right up against the mezzanine like barrier is because from down there it just looks a bit clashy. There's
cluttered.
too much, like, cluttered is the word. But yeah.
Like that works, but I think ideally the other way.
Yeah, I think that just doesn't use the space as well.
Mm,
And if you think about it, you can get less.
that's true.
So let's put them back this way.
And are you thinking of chopping these bits off? So there's a bit more-
Only if I need to. But looking at this, it depend on that height there. So I think we probably will have to chop them off because there's going to be a thickness to the actual height
Yeah.
of the top and the bottom piece that we use. So yeah.
They look nice though. I'm excited for them. It's a long time coming because at the moment we've just got our clothes just on the floor. So it just looks really messy all the time. So when they're in their actual lovely wooden rustic vintage crates, it'd be great out of sight, look really neat and tidy, and now we can actually see the floor space. There's actually way more than I thought there'd be.
Yeah. And we can always do some more storage here if we want to.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a lot of clothes
I
storage
think
for
that
us. Like,
will
we
be-
don't have many clothes.
No, that will be more than. I mean,
You guys see me in the same outfit for the last 20 videos. I don't know, maybe we could do something here where these are kind of open shelves.
that'll get in the way of the bottom of those ones at the end opening.
Yeah, we have got some nice wooden chests, so we could definitely
wanted
put a chest at the
yeah.
end of the bed.
Either at the end of the bed or maybe along here.
Right, we need to
Anywhere.
take the measurements
Okay.
and then we can go to the city and figure out what wood we can buy.
Waking up, what a view, it's just you and me. We can float here for hours, it's all that we need.
We have just arrived at Castelo Branco and you can see behind me, Bee is just at the pay-as-you-go laundrette. We thought we'd get some washing done, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and then hit the DIY shops.
I believe, yeah, I believe.
Showing all my dirty laundry.
It's a good life.
Success! It looks like I've just been to IKEA and I've got IKEA stuff without the cardboard boxes. But we have got everything we need to now build our shelving unit in our mezzanine, which I'm very excited about. So we're going to get straight on that tomorrow. I'm sure it's going to look lovely. I think the contrast between the white of the actual unit, and then the rustic crates and having to pull them out and stuff like that. It's going to be really useful. We've got nowhere to store our clothes at the moment, so yeah, exciting times.
It should look really lovely, and I'm just going to talk to camera now whilst Theo does all the hard work of getting it in the car. And annoyingly, we did drive here with about 5 bin bags that I meant to empty on the way, and I totally forgot, so we're going to have to put those on the back seat so these can then fit in the boot. You know, my memory is all over the place today, so every time we got out of the car I was like, we need to get rid of the bin bags, and then we both just forgot, so we're just still driving around with these bin bags. Dinner time! Ooh.
What we got?
We have got a banquet. Theo is a biryani lover, so it'll be a vegetable biryani for Theo, sagaloo for me, and I can smell. Theo
so
has a
good.
garlic naan, and I miss naan bread so much. Being celiac, it's just impossible to get in curry houses, but even so, the smell is delicious, and of course an obligatory Coke Zero, ice cold.
Seriously, if you're in Castelo Branco, go and check out the Swagger. It's an amazing place, a really nice restaurant. The staff are lovely, and we probably go there too often. We're known in there very well now, and yeah, it's just been one of them days, hasn't it, where we've managed to achieve so much, and it's still light, which is crazy because it's nearly 8 o'clock in the evening, and it's so nice. You can be so productive on these long coming up to summer days. I hope you enjoyed the video, and catch us on the next one to see how we build our storage units.